Hello everyone. There's a new update coming out. So I figured we'll just walk you quickly through the patch notes. It's still going to be coming out on 12th of May, so we have a little bit of time. But, I just wanted to tell you what I'm thinking about things. So, what's the big news in here? Team play rework. This is interesting. So it looks like there's a lot of attention towards getting people to do more things for the team and do less things for themselves. There's a new set of ribbons. So, like the things you get when you do something, like you hit with your main batteries or with your torpedoes or caused a flood or sunk a ship, these kind of things. And we get a bunch of new ones. We get assists, we get spotting, we get actually potential damage. So if someone shoots at you, even if they don't hit, there's still something happening here. So that is also reflected in the score at the end. So at the end of the game, you get a score, and it tells you who was the MVP. So this is now reflecting these ribbons as well. So if you are playing your ship more towards its role, then you get you get better scores. That's kind of how I'm interpreting this. Now, this is interesting. So, for example, it says for a battleship, you'd get more points for taking fire. How does this play out? For example, does this favor German battleships over Japanese battleships? Because German battleships are much more predestined to take fire than, say, Japanese battleships, because they are range snipers and they are often just exploiting their range and these kind of things. So this remains to be seen, but I definitely like the general approach of putting more emphasis on playing ships to their roles and playing as a team, and I think that's great. So we'll see how this turns out. European destroyers are coming later in the month. Woohoo! So, we're going to get Air Defense Alert 3 starting at the Östergötland, and then Holland as well. So, very, very interested to see how that's going to turn out, and how powerful these are going to be, especially compared to ships like the Gearing, which I think so far had the best destroyer AA in Tier 10. But yeah, we'll see how that goes when it comes out. The Russian destroyer line is splitting. So there will be a Tier 8 destroyer. I'm assuming that they're going to be range torps destroyer, because it's the only thing that makes sense. But we will find out what that means in exact terms. Universal blueprints. I'm not quite sure what this is. I think it's just blueprints that you probably can use for anything. So we'll have to see when that comes out. But given that blueprints are always in short demand, especially certain things you've got heaps of, like secondaries, and other things like hull blueprints you're constantly short of. So maybe this is a good mitigation for that sort of problem as well. We can compare ships. It's nice. Probably makes my reviews a lot easier, and I don't have to bounce around between left, right, and center in terms of stats between two things. So I'm looking forward to that just for video making purposes. And there's a friend referral event going on. I'm not going to say anything about that. But optimization of the aircraft carrier. Okay, that sounds interesting. There is something about a line, connecting line between carrier that was previously between carrier and target, and is now between aircraft and target. This sounds like a bug fix to me. I'm not quite sure what it is, because I just haven't played carriers too much. But if you're a carrier player, this is probably good, I assume. What else do we get? Messages and shenanigans. Bug fixes. Now here are some good ones. Oh dear. And I can already hear the gnashing, the wailing and gnashing of teeth at the CV players. So for those of you who don't know this, you can build, I think it's a captain skill that makes your planes return faster. What this did so far is, when you launch your planes, you let them fly out a little bit, then you quickly press return and then send them forward again. And then that'll just speed them up by, I think, 10% or something. I'm not sure if there was a module for this as well, but this has been fixed. So even if you press the return button, your planes don't magically get faster for the rest, even if they haven't dropped their load yet. This only works once you've dropped your load. Only then is the button actually going to work, and I think that is a great bug fix. There's also the range lag problem, which has something to do with the drawing distance. I think that if you're using ships, you've seen this in my reviews, if you're using ships like the Japanese extreme range ships or the American extreme range ships, you actually get a bit of lag at the targets, which makes hitting them if they're getting close to rendering distance rather difficult. So that's been fixed, and woohoo, that is awesome as well. And ghost and carrier torpedo glitch. Oh yeah. I'm not quite sure what has happened there in terms of mitigation, but if this works, then I am going to be super glad about this. That if you actually dodge torpedoes and they don't hit you, then you shouldn't be taking damage. This could be just a shift of the damage event to the target's client from the carrier's client. I don't know, but now I know, and from what people have told me, that carrier players are suffering from lag. So this remains to be seen if this is still an issue. Because if you were in a carrier and you didn't actually intentionally misdropped your torpedoes or used lag to cause this kind of problem, but you just literally suffered from a poor connection, which happens. Not everybody lives in a well-connected area and has massively fast broadband internet in the world. Then Now this problem is on your side rather than on the other side, because it'll get much more difficult for you to actually hit targets that are lagging with torpedoes. So we will have to see how that turns out for the carrier players. But in general, I think the idea is not bad to just work around the problems where lag was not natural. But yeah, if you're a carrier player, let me know how that works out for you. Ship balancing. Okay. The Budyoni has gotten 5 torpedo launches, okay, but in return gets a longer reload, so 1 for 1. The French Tier 9 heavy cruiser gets better maneuverability and a better dispersion. I haven't played that ship, so I can't really say. The Buffalo, the Des Moines with an additional turret, the premium Tier 10, gets better maneuverability and a better rapid reload, okay. I wasn't a huge fan of the Buffalo, just because she's a great ship, but I can already have a Des Moines. But we'll see if that makes a difference. The Yoshino gets a much better dispersion and better concealment. That's probably welcome. And the carriers get buffed. I don't know if this has anything to do with the fact that the torpedoes are working differently now, but the Hiryu gets a better dispersion on the dive bombers, and other than that, it's mostly American carriers. So the Ranger gets better dive bombers. The Lexi gets better dive bombers. Actually, more torpedo bombers as well for the Ranger. The Indomitable gets a reduced dive bomber preparation time, as if the Indomitable wasn't overpowered enough already. Okay, well, and the Midway gets better dispersion on the dive bombers. So balancing and bug fixes and focus on teamwork, plus exciting new lines that are coming up. Russian torpedo boat split, probably European destroyers. Well, I'd say it's overall interesting times. So happy about this one. I think this is going to be great. And I hope so do you. That's it for today. See you next time. Bye-bye.